I have a challenge for you. Think of the last time you went an entire day without procrastinating. If you can't think of a day, then in this video, I'm going to show you how to completely eliminate procrastination forever. If you're wondering what I even know about procrastination, or whether I'm qualified to talk about it or not, then let me tell you a story. It was January of 2024, and my life was on the line. I had to get some work done, and I had to also hand 2 assignments in. If I didn't, I was going to be on probation because my grades sucked. And being on probation as an international student means that you are on the red, you're like marked, you're on the red list. That was me. I got my 2 hours of work done. You know what? I didn't even take 2 hours. It took like 1 hour and 45 minutes. I was very productive. I just got everything done in one sitting. After I got my work done, I told myself, you know what? I worked super hard. I deserve a break, and I want to give myself a reward. So I took my phone, I went to my bed, and I started scrolling. And I told myself, you know what? I'll only scroll for 15 minutes, so it's all good. You know where this is going, right? That 15 minutes turned into 2 hours and like around 20 minutes or something. And I told myself, you know what? I've already been scrolling for 2 hours, so let me just scroll some more and I'll get the assignments done later. And that 2 hour scrolling session turned into 4 hours of scrolling, and then I started watching Netflix, and that took me around like 4 more hours or something. And as a result, I didn't even finish my assignments. The assignments were due that day midnight. I only did whatever I could when I started 20 minutes before the deadline. So I know full well how crippling procrastination can be because you don't get any work done, and then you feel horrible about yourself. Has this ever happened to you? Where you tell yourself that you're gonna scroll for 15 minutes, then you just go on a doom scrolling session for 6 hours. And then you also start a Netflix series, and you're like, you know what, this is gonna be a huge distraction, so let me just binge watch the entire thing in like 2 or 3 days, and then I'm gonna start being productive. And then for the next 2 to 3 days, you just binge watch the entire thing, and you don't get any work done. I did that myself. There was one day where I scrolled on Netflix for 16 hours. 16 hours! I slept for like 7 hours, and then the entire time I was awake, I was watching Netflix. I didn't get any work done. And I pretty soon realized that most of my life has just been a string of I'll do it laters. Do you think about how far we could have been if we didn't procrastinate and we actually got our work done? But you know what? I actually have massive respect for you because the modern world is designed to keep us distracted. 50 years ago, if people wanted something, they actually had to go out and work for it to get it. But nowadays, everything is instant. Everything is in the palm of our hands. Everything is in this device that I'm filming. Do you want success? No, you don't. Here's some instant gratification with video games. You want women? No, you don't. Here's porn for you. Some of the most beautiful women you'll ever see willing to get completely naked for you. You'll see more women than Genghis Khan would have seen in 12 lifetimes. And it's all in the palm of your hands. And you don't have to work. You don't have to work for it. You can just go to Google. You can search it up. And it's right there. It's all instant. You don't have to work for it. You want friends? No, you don't. Here's some online video game friends who are probably weird as hell in real life, and they don't even shower or brush their teeth or clean themselves after they take a shit. You don't need to work for anything because everything in the modern world is instant. It's in the palm of your hands. You don't need to work for anything. You want friends, you want women, you want success, like whatever you want. It's all right here. You can get all of it without having to work hard. No one feels good after a doom scrolling session. No one feels good after procrastinating for 2 hours. You only feel good once you've been productive for 2 hours. You've actually got your work done. You feel great when you do that. And you feel more energized. You feel more accomplished. The modern world is designed to keep us distracted. The big companies, it is their sole purpose. It is their mission to make sure you are hooked into their platforms, to make sure you are hooked into their poisonous food. And their biggest weapon is distraction, because it leads to procrastination. So let me show you how to beat it permanently. Before we talk about how to beat procrastination permanently, just scroll down and click on the subscribe button to help me grow this channel so that I can make more videos like this, and it's going to be a win-win for both of us because I make more content, you get more content, and it's a win-win for both of us. So scroll down and click on the subscribe button. The lessons we are going to be covering in this video come from 2 sources. They are from my own personal experience, and they're also from the book Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy, which is one of my favorite books. So I'm going to be combining my own experience and the lessons from this book into this video so you can permanently beat procrastination forever. With that being said, here's how to completely beat procrastination. Step 1, get clarity. One of the biggest reasons you and I procrastinate is because we don't know where to start, we don't know what to do, and we feel completely overwhelmed. Has this ever happened to you where you told yourself, you know what, I'm going to start a business, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that, but I just don't know where to start. There's so much information on the internet, there's so much YouTube videos on the internet. I feel overwhelmed, I just don't know where to start. If that was you, after watching this video, I don't want to be hearing that excuse anymore, because that was me for the longest time too. I didn't know where to start, but now that I'm telling you to get clarity, I don't want to be hearing that excuse anymore. So step 1 is to get clarity. Whatever goals you have, write them down. And also write down the exact action steps you need to be taking every single day in order to get to that goal. Because just writing the goal down isn't enough. You also need to be knowing exactly what you need to do every single day. Because think about this. If a fat person wanted to lose weight, that's his goal, right? He wants to lose weight. But he is going to procrastinate 9 out of 10 times. Because he is going to feel completely overwhelmed as soon as he steps into the gym. Because he doesn't know what exercises to do. He doesn't know how many sets, how many reps, or how long he should be on the treadmill. He doesn't know any of that. All he knows is that he has a goal of wanting to lose weight. So he has a goal, but he doesn't have the action steps, and that is why he is going to procrastinate. So it's just not enough for you to have your goal. You also need to have your daily action steps as well, because you need to know exactly what you need to be doing every single day. Let me also give you another example. If you wanted to make $10,000, just like I do, you and I are very likely to procrastinate if we don't write down the daily action steps. Because $10,000 is a big number, and we have no idea where to start or what to do in order to get to that goal. So it is going to be helpful. It is going to be beneficial for us to write down exactly what we need to be doing every single day in order to get to that goal. Because this is going to make sure that we wake up and we know exactly what we need to be working on. And when we have clarity, we're not going to procrastinate because we know what to do. We know where to start. And we know we need to break this $10,000 number into daily action steps. So we're going to be thinking about, okay, if I want to make $10,000 per month, how many sales do we have to make every single day? Whatever the number is, now we have a daily goal. So then we further ask ourselves, okay, if I need to be making, let's say, 10 sales a day, what can I actually sell and actually start making 10 sales a day? Now we have more information. So we come up with something to sell. Let's say, I don't know, shoes. Okay, so I'm going to be selling 10 shoes every single day. For 30 days, I'm going to be making $10,000 per month. That's our goal. There we go. Now we know we need to get shoes from like some supplier or something, and we need to start doing marketing for those shoes to sell those shoes. And we need to be selling 10 shoes every single day. Now we have clarity. Now we have a daily action step. Now we know we need to get shoes. We need to sell 10 shoes every single day in order to get to that $10,000 per month that we want to get to. Now we have clarity, so we're not going to procrastinate. Do you see how this will help you? But one thing I would also like to emphasize is to write it down. Think on paper. And this is something the author of the book, Eat That Frog, Brian Tracy, talks about. Think on paper. Don't just think in your head, because if you do, you're going to forget. Unwritten goals leads to confusion and vagueness. And confusion and vagueness leads to procrastination. So write your goals down, write your daily action steps down, and you're going to know exactly what you need to be doing every single day. If you keep telling yourself you don't know where to start, it's because you just haven't written down your goals yet and you haven't gotten clarity. Because think about it. How do you run a 100-meter race? By running the first 10 meters, and then you run the next 10 meters, and then you run the next 10 meters, and then you get eventually you get your 100 meters, right? How do you get to $10,000 per month? You make your first sale, and then you make your next sale, and then you make your next sale, and then you get to $10,000 per month. How do you lose fat? You go to the gym one day and do whatever you need to do, and then you do it the next day, and the next day, and in 6 months' time, you've lost a lot of weight. The reason you feel overwhelmed is because you're trying to see the entire road. You don't need to do that. You just have to see your next step. And then once you get to your next step, you're going to have to see the step after that. And then the one after that. That is how you're going to get to the end. By only taking the next step and the next step and not focusing on the entire road. So your action step for this step is to pause this video right now, go write down your goals and write down the daily action steps you need to be taking every single day in order to get to that goal that you have. Pause this video right now. Do that, and I will see you in a second, and we're going to talk about step 2. Step 2, having a deadline. A goal without a deadline has no urgency. And also think about this. Have you ever had an assignment due or a quiz or homework or something due, and you had time to get it done for 14 days, but you only did it at the last minute? Have you ever done that? That just goes to show that us human beings, we meet our deadlines. Even though you had 14 days, you got all of it done in the last 20 minutes or last 30 minutes. So you were meeting your deadlines. So realistically, whatever deadlines you set for your goals, you are going to be meeting them. So if you set a 24-hour deadline to get a bunch of your stuff done, you are going to get them done. Because again, like I said, human beings, we meet our deadlines. So if you combine step 1, which is getting clarity and writing your goals down and knowing what to do every single day, with this step, which is having a deadline, now you know what you need to be doing in the next 24 hours. Step 3, work from a list. Whatever big goals that you set for yourself, you also broke that down into daily action steps, right? I want you to take those daily action steps and turn them into a list and start working from that list. Because a list gives you an idea of exactly what you need to be working on step by step. And also whenever something new comes up, add it to the list. Don't just stop working on whatever you're working on and start on the new thing. No, add the new thing to the list and work on it once you get to that point. This is going to add some structure to your work and make sure you are not all over the place. When you get something done, cross it off your list. What this does is it gives you dopamine and it gives you this sense of accomplishment that you're actually getting stuff done. And once you have that, you're more likely to get more stuff done. So whatever you have on the list, once you get something done, just cross it off. This generates a feeling of success and forward motion. It raises your self-esteem and your self-respect, and it gives you this feeling of forward momentum. And this feeling of progress will give you the energy that you need in order to get all of your stuff done throughout the day. Step 4, organize your list using the ABCDE method, and this is going to make you super productive. So let me explain what the ABCDE method is. The ABCDE method is basically the order of importance in which you get your work done. Your most important tasks throughout the day are your A tasks. These are the things which if you don't do, there are serious consequences. So if you're a student, it can be not doing homework or studying for an exam. And if you're a business person, then it can be making a certain number of sales every single day. Your A tasks are the things which are the most important things you need to do. Otherwise, there are serious consequences. So in the previous step, you had to turn all of your action steps into a list. Go ahead and figure out which task in that list is the most important task. Whatever it is, write down A next to it. If there's 2 or 3 things that are very important, just write down A1, A2, A3 next to it. But your A tasks are the things you need to do every single day. Otherwise, there are serious consequences. The next thing are your B tasks. Your B tasks are things that are slightly less important than your A tasks, but if you don't do it, someone will be unhappy. So it can be something that has mild consequences. So if you're a student, it can be not submitting your homework. Your professor will be unhappy, but who cares? And if you're a business person, it can be not making a certain phone call. The other person might be unhappy, but who cares? But don't get me wrong, it's not like there won't be any consequences if you don't do your B tasks. It's just going to be not as severe as not doing your A tasks. So take out your list again and figure out what your B tasks are and write down B next to it. If you have multiple of them, then write down B1, B2, B3, just like that. One thing you should know is that you should never start your B tasks unless your A tasks are done. Your A tasks are your most important tasks of the day, and you should not do anything else until your A tasks are done. This is one of the major reasons why a lot of people procrastinate, is because the A tasks are usually the hardest tasks, and people want to start with the easy stuff. So they start with the easy stuff, they start with the B task, the C task, and eventually the day ends and they haven't gotten their A tasks done. And then there's serious consequences for that. And that's one of the biggest reasons why people procrastinate and don't get stuff done, because they only focus on the things that don't matter. They don't work on the most important things, which usually happen to be the hardest things. So always start with your A tasks. Don't do anything else. Don't touch your B or your C or your D tasks unless your A tasks are done. The next thing is your C tasks. So your C tasks are things which you can do them, but not doing them won't have any consequences, such as calling a friend or going out for coffee with your parents or something. It's nice to do, but if you don't do it, there's no consequences. So again, you shouldn't be doing C tasks unless your A and B tasks are done. And C tasks can also be just like talking to a friend and just like talking shit. So you shouldn't be doing that when you still have your A tasks left. You shouldn't be doing that if you still have your B tasks left. You shouldn't be on your phone or talking to a friend or just wasting time when your list still has A tasks and B tasks left. That is also why people procrastinate, because they're focusing on the C things when they still have A and B left. So go to your list again and see if there are any things that you would consider a C task. There probably is not, but if there is, consider that a C task and don't do that unless your A and your B are done. The next one is your D tasks. Now these are things that you don't need to do at all and you can just delegate it to someone else. So if you're doing your own cooking, or you're doing your own laundry, or you're doing your own dishes or cleaning or whatever, you can just delegate that to, if you're living with your parents, to your parents or your mom. It sounds horrible, but you can delegate it to them. If you're living with a roommate, you can pay your roommate like $20 or something and delegate it to them. What this does is this frees up your time so that you have more time to do your A tasks and your B tasks. Because your A and your B tasks are the things that are going to produce the most results for you. So whatever those things are, you need to make sure that you have the most amount of time dedicated for those two things. So if there's anything that you can delegate and save up your time, do that. And lastly, we have E tasks. These are things which you can completely eliminate from your life. And there's not going to be any consequences. There's not even a point to doing this. One example that's on the top of my mind is obviously scrolling on your phone. There's no point to it. There's no consequences for not doing it. So you should just eliminate it. So go to your list again. See if there's any E tasks over there. There probably isn't, but if there is, just cross it off. It's out of your life. No more. You don't do your E tasks. Like, it goes without saying, but you don't do your E tasks. You don't scroll on your phone. If you still have work left, if you still have A and B tasks left. But this is what most people do. This is what I used to do as well. I used to be on my phone first thing in the morning, which is an E task, when I had a bunch of A and B tasks left. So don't be that person. Don't be me. Don't be me in the past. Just don't do E tasks unless your A, B, C, and D tasks are done. So by now, you've turned your list into A, B, C, D, and E tasks. What I want to tell you is there are result-producing tasks and shallow tasks. Your result-producing tasks are the A and B things in your list. These are the things. These are the 20% of things, which if you do, is going to produce 80% of the results for you. It's the 80-20 rule. The 20% of things that you do are going to produce the 80% of results. And 80% of things that you do are only going to be producing the minute 20% of the results. So your A and B tasks are the 20% of things you get done, and it's going to produce 80% of your results. Let me give you a few examples. If you want to make more money, the things that are going to get you the most results are actually hopping on sales calls, trying to sell more stuff, trying to focusing on marketing, all that stuff. Those are the things that are going to make you money. Those are the 20% of tasks that are going to give you 80% of the results. The other 80% of the tasks that are only going to give you 20% of the results, aka the things you shouldn't do first, are, I don't know, making a website or designing a logo, all that stuff. If you want friends or you want a girl, the things that are going to get you the most results are actually going out and talking to people. That's the 20% of things that's going to give you the 80% of the results. The other 80% of things that's only going to give you 20% of the results are just sitting at home and watching a bunch of YouTube videos on how to get more girls or how to make friends, whatever. The thing that's going to get you the most results is actually going out and talking to people and making new friends and talking to girls. So in your list, figure out what are the 20% of things that are going to give you 80% of the results. And resist the temptations to clearing out the easiest things first. Start working on the hardest things, start working on the A tasks and then the B tasks, instead of going for the C or the D. Resist the temptation to focus on the easier things and get the hard things done first thing in the morning. Step 5 is immediate plan on your action. So everything that we just talked about, you already have your goals, you already have your action steps, and you already listed it down in terms of the ABCDE method. You already have your plan. So go take action right now. Like, pause this video, go start taking action. If you stop watching this video, if it is going to hurt my channel, the algorithm's not going to favor me because you didn't watch the entire video. I don't care. Stop the video right now, pause it or stop it, whatever. Go do something. You have your list, you have your action steps. Go start right now. One quote that the author talks about in the book is, an average plan, vigorously executed, is far better than a brilliant plan on which nothing is done. So pause this video or like stop watching this video and go do something. You have everything you need to get started. So go get started right now. Don't wait. Don't put it off for tomorrow. Don't put it off for Monday. Don't put it off for whenever. You have everything you need. So start right now. Step 6. Resolve to do one thing every single day that's going to move you towards your goals. Even on some days when you have a super busy schedule, just do something that's going to move you towards your goals. Even if it's reading a book for 15 minutes or watching an educational video for 5 minutes, whatever it is. Make a promise and resolve to do one thing every single day, no matter how small, that is going to help you get to your goals, as long as you're still making improvements. And lastly, step 7, become really good at what you do. Because one of the biggest reasons of procrastination is a feeling of inadequacy. When you're not good at something, you're much more likely to not do it because you don't want to seem like a failure. You don't want to seem like you don't know what you're doing. And when you're failing, when you're not very good at what you do, you're much more likely to procrastinate on that thing. So whatever your A1 task is, whatever your result producing task is, the one that's going to produce the most results for you, whatever that task is, make sure you start getting really, really good at that thing. Because again, like we talked about in the 80-20 rule, 20% of things that you do are going to get you 80% of the results. So get really good. So get really good at doing those 20% of things. Make sure that you don't feel like you're inadequate when you're doing those, because if you do, then you are much more likely to procrastinate on that. And if you're procrastinating on the 20% of things, that's going to get you 80% of the results, your A tasks, then you might as well just not even work. So get good at what you do, because that is going to make sure that you are not procrastinating because you feel inadequate. So those are the 7 steps to completely eliminate procrastination. If you found this valuable, which I'm hoping you did because this was life-changing for me, if you found this valuable, then scroll down and click on the subscribe button to help me grow this channel so that I can produce more content like this to help out more ambitious young men just like you. And it's going to be a win-win for both of us because you get more content from me and I produce more content for you. So again, it's a win-win for both of us. So scroll down and click on the subscribe button. With that being said, I will see you in the next one.